What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Counting Wisdom podcast. I wanted to talk about OpenAI's text to video AI generator. When you think that it just, can't get any crazier, they come out with this new technology. There are so many people already on YouTube where you don't even know if the video that you're watching is real. But I just saw the news clip on OpenAI generative text to video software. And the computer can now make video that looks real. It's not even animated videos, we completely skipped making computer generated animated videos, and now it's making real images that look real, that you cannot even differentiate between fake and real other than a few different cues here or there. And so it's crazy because some of the videos that you watch on YouTube now, some of these people you'll probably never even meet in real life. And so just thinking all of the different videos that you can come across on YouTube, now we don't even know if the video that we're watching is even a real person. And I think there are going to be some great movies that can come from, text to video generated images, where now, what you can tell why the actors went on strike now. I never saw how advanced this thing was, but now I understand why the actors went on strike. Because you can literally make an image that looks completely real. Like you wouldn't even know there was not an actor doing the scene. And yet they have it. And so now it makes sense. And yeah, I'm excited to see a cool movie, but there are some really downsides about this, in that it also made me think about how I think one of the reasons of the rapture is that sin gets too crazy. I think in this day and age, we do have certain barriers that really protect us against certain temptations. But some of the stuff that they are creating, it almost seems like they are really trying to break the barriers of temptation. You think about different porn videos that are going to be made from AI generated software. And they're already concerned about just images of porn that is out, just photos that are completely fake, but yet they look real. And you have different celebrities that are, supposedly in it, even though I don't know, but I think they've been sort of doing that type of thing for a while now. But now they have video that can look real, but yet it's completely computer generated. And so it leads me to think that, the time of the tribulation, it's not only God's wrath being poured out, but it's also a time of great sin and temptation that I think really puts into perspective how hard it is to overcome these things when you think about some of the things that are tempting to people, and they're rolling it out left and right. And so I think one of the, realities of the rapture is that God takes us out for many reasons, but that could be one of the reasons. When you think about an environment where sin is just so strong, even in my city, it's about, I would say 45 miles north of where I live, but they have prostitutes just walking the streets. Now, I'm talking about sexual temptation in my examples, but I'm sure temptation is just going to be in all different categories, not just the sexualized ones. And so when you think about what they are doing, for a person who isn't ready, when you think about the parable of the 5 wise virgins and the 5 foolish virgins, and when they say, my light is going out, you can sort of paint a picture of what they are talking about. Now, think about it. We use things like the internet, our phone, and television, but when they start rolling out these new softwares, they're going to start requiring it on things that we use every day. I just saw another news story of the company OpenAI starting a browser to rival Google searching. So, clearly the projection is that, they're going to be getting rid of the Google search eventually, and it's going to be artificial intelligence searching. And so I'm sure Google already uses artificial intelligence anyway, but I think not so much the AI text to video generator, really sparked this comment, but that the concept of how, sin is becoming, it's getting to a level where it's irresistible. And so you can tell when the foolish virgins are saying, hey, my light is going out. Another way of saying that is, hey, sin is coming too irresistible. I don't know if I can control myself to resist these sins that are so rampant everywhere. Imagine the guy who's struggling to, control alcohol, and then all of a sudden they roll out, oh, look, artificial intelligence has created a new type of alcohol. And the guy's like, oh, I know I've been off the wagon for 20 years, but maybe I should try this, new alcohol that they've, artificially created. I don't know. There's plenty of examples. You think about, the guy who's resisting, looking at pornography or, looking at, sleeping with a prostitute. But then they're like, hey, we've got this new type of porn out. Or, we got these robots that you can sleep with. It's just getting crazy. And the guy who's resisting it today falls for it tomorrow. And so these are just different evidences of how, we can't let our guard down in regards to following Jesus. But the Bible does give us clear warning that, even in the tribulation, it says that the elect, at least it implies that the elect can be deceived by just the strong delusional things that are happening during that time. And so God gives us warning of that. And so obviously, I think it's good to be reminded about the basics of scripture in regards to following Jesus. We aren't to have any idols in our life. We can use technology, even if you were to download an artificial intelligence, text thing, depending on which one it is, I don't even think that's necessarily completely bad today, but I think it's getting worse. But I think that, we need to know what Jesus has taught us to do. We need to know that, what is Jesus asking us to concern ourselves with in regards to righteousness and, walking in purity and, what he deems sin and what he deems, okay for us to do. And, I'm not saying that everything that technology wise is bad, but, one of the main parts of, the whole mark of the beast issue is not necessarily using a mark to buy or sell, even though, I believe, obviously we should not necessarily do that because the Bible talks about it in a negative way. But it's really, the worship of the beast. That's the main point of, you're taking this mark to signal that you're worshiping the beast or the image. And so we aren't to have idols. And I think just remembering the importance of, Deuteronomy, when God was talking about how to study the word of God day and night, and really keeping our mindset on heaven and not, trying to make heaven in the here and now. I know it's good to, try to improve this world, or, we have fun things that we like to do here. But we have to realize that, God has already deemed this world unfit to continue, and he's going to make a new heavens and a new earth. And so we are transitioning into the next world. And so, we aren't to be a friend of the world. And I think we sometimes do need to sort of cut off the limit on, what we are really participating in. And I think definitely not listening to false doctrine, even within the church, even about sin. For some ministers, they say certain sins, you're just going to do, and hey, it's okay with God, and, God will just wants you to ask for forgiveness. But, the way sin is increasing, let's say a person, supposedly has some freedom from sin, and particular maybe pornography, where this person, says, oh, I only look at it once or twice a year or once or twice a month. Well, as they start putting out all these new types of porn and different types of videos of, what entices people, for the Christian who is sort of, having the mindset that, hey, God is, not really asking us to be completely free from sin, then, they're going to be struggling with this stuff. If we don't take hold of this type of lifestyle now, hey, I think a phone is great. It has great value, but, some of this technology doesn't necessarily make sense. I mean, when you talk about a driverless car, I think it's cool to do, but at the same time, that's not really a job that you need to replace. I mean, sure, it can be sometimes awkward to get into a car with someone that maybe talks a lot or maybe is a different culture than you. But when you talk about driverless cars, they're eliminating a lot of different jobs. Obviously it's just a new technology still now, but when you talk about getting rid of Uber drivers and getting rid of taxis, I mean, Uber just came out not that long ago, we used to have taxis for a while. And so when you think about, some of the technology, and it's like, what real purpose does a driverless car actually serve, unless they're saying, hey, if every car is sort of driverless, then we can eliminate car accidents. But, other than that, some of this technology, it doesn't necessarily make sense or serve a real purpose other than maybe the invention of the car that, makes travel better, or an invention of a plane, or the invention of the iPhone. But then it's getting to sort of things that are not even necessary. And I guess specifically with the whole driverless car, I know that's one thing that sort of comes to my mind as, not really seeing the point of that. And so I know Uber drivers do want to be safe. I've heard of a few Uber drivers either being killed or, entering into some violent type of situation. But just eliminating the whole Uber driver's job is not the solution. You can come up with a whole bunch of different ways that can make a person's car safer. Talk about maybe bulletproofing, encasing the driver in a bulletproof type of containment area, where you're not eliminating the driver itself and all the jobs that go along with it. And so, when you talk about, a robot who can flip burgers, I think that is great. At the same time, it's like, what's the point of really eliminating that job? Other than, you can sort of, maybe prevent someone from messing with your food or something, prevent like a bad employee from, messing the operations up. But at the same time, maybe you need to do better in finding better employees. But, eliminating the whole job of flipping burgers and serving food, that just, it's like, what's the real point of that? And, those are just some examples of how, it doesn't really make sense to, put out some of these technologies. And anyway, thanks so much. And I'll talk to you on the next one. See ya.